175 plus new machines.
That everybody's safe on the job site.
Global Operator Challenge is back, folks. Hi, I'm Peter Haddock and I'm here at the Malaga Demonstration and Learning Centre with the big press launch we've had here with the 100 years of CAT as well. And I'm joined by Corné. Corné, we have had the most amazing experience over the last few days here. And it really, really strengthens that message we've got behind you, that we've had 100 years of Caterpillar, but the 100 years is now looking forward, isn't it?
Absolutely, and I couldn't agree more. We're in a very special and unique year. You know, I'm very, very thankful to be able to experience that, and I think many with us, an occasion that we're going to celebrate, and really not just reflecting on the past, but celebrating that milestone, and then in particularly look ahead to the next 100 years and kind of imagine, you know, all the great stuff that could bring us.
And folks, the reason we got this model here is because Caterpillar has been building a lot on the ecosystem that you are bringing into the marketplace. 6 years since you had a press launch and 175 plus new machines introduced in that 6 years. But also it's the challenges that you're tackling, isn't it? So first of all, I always want to start with safety. Yes. And you put up a big figure. It was still disturbing around safety. Tell me about that, 1 in 4. Yeah,
1 in 4. So statistics tell us that, you know, 1 in 4 out of all the fatal incidents that happen is related to construction, whereas it only represents 5% of the workforce. So there's a huge disparity, and we have a lot of improvements to make in order to make sure that everybody's safe on the job site.
And we're going to talk about safety in a minute, folks, because you've brought out some really cool safety features. Also, a big issue that we have got in our industry is productivity as well, folks. Really is not good enough, is it?
No, when you look at, again, you know, statistics have shown that, you know, the year-over-year growth in terms of productivity and efficiency gains in the construction industry is almost 3 times less than what it is in the rest of the industry or even in the world economy. So we have some massive improvements to make sure that we take those steps forward in the construction business as well, and be happy to talk about some of the things that we're doing in that space, Peter.
Certainly. And folks, it's still all about the people that actually operate these machines. And Corné, 1 million is what you said that we need.
It's huge.
It's massive.
Yeah. And you know, it is true. Given the activity in the industry, we see 25% of the construction workers retiring, and you know, obviously there's going to be new people coming in, but typically, you know, less experienced and less skilled. So not only the amount, but also the skill level of the operator is going to be a crucial element to address.
And the crucial element is, again, happening this time as well, though. Global Operator Challenge is back, folks. And it's already starting to get people joining in on the national level, isn't it? Before we come here again to the Malaga facility for the European semi-finals, and then the final, of course, at ConExpo next year.
Yeah. No, I mean, it's such a huge event, and we're getting so much pull from, you know, operators from around Europe wanting to participate in this Global Operator Challenge, where we do pay tribute to the best operators, you know, that we have in the world, and for them to compete and show their skills, you know, in front of their colleagues is a great experience. As you said, we'll have the regional finals here later in the year before heading to the finals in ConExpo. Putting that together with a 100-year anniversary is just going to be such an amazing experience.
Absolutely. And so, you know, the other thing that really struck me today, and we talk about this building block here, is the fact that we're not just talked about machinery today. We have got some new machinery launched, some really impressive stuff. The electrification has really come leaps and bounds in the last 6 years as well. But the ecosystem that you have now developed around VisionLink in particular is really exciting, because it's that one platform space now which everything is coming into, all the information that different people need in their different job roles to manage a work site, and that productivity word again.
Absolutely. You know, we'll continue to invest in our products, right? As you said, you know, 175 new models over the last 5 years, but we think there's a lot more to offer than just the product. VisionLink, as you said, you know, a key tool to help both improving the utilization and uptime of the machine on the job site by having that information, you know, at your fingertips, either at your desktop or on your mobile phone, and being able to better manage the equipment that way. But also when it comes to the owning experience over the life of the machine, by getting, you know, alerts pushed to you,
Yep.
you know, for that specific machine, say, hey, you know, maintenance is due, or, you know, there is a fault code. We recommend you know, stick to this maintenance schedule. By the way, here, you know, you can order your parts that are required for that specific 500,000 hour maintenance schedule. Push the button, order the parts from the dealer, and schedule your service with the dealer. It's all integrated. It is specific for your machine, so you know that you're going to get the right parts for that machine, scheduled at the right time when you need it, based on your schedule. So that is the technological ecosystem that we're talking about.
The ecosystem, though, also has some more add-ons that I've seen, which is really quite exciting, because VisionLink is, and in its name, a vision of what's happening. So we've got all of that with the equipment, but now we've got the 3D models coming in through VisionLink and being sent out to the equipment and the machines in the field. And we've got that sort of as-built data and the volumetric elements that allow people to say, where are we on the job site from a productivity perspective, and what are some of the pinch points of alerts or things that we're getting around loading, unloading, idle times and waiting around. And this is really important, isn't it?
Absolutely, and it's not so much a data, it is, you know, what insights does that data provide you, right? And we come, as you said, leaps and bounds of putting that information together in a meaningful way, and telling and showing to people from the reports where they are perhaps idling too much, where there are inefficiencies in their operations, where there are trucks bunching, you know, in front of a crusher, and those types of things. So it becomes a lot easier for the fleet or the site manager to address issues and to make improvements in terms of the productivity again and the efficiency of the job site.
And of course, productivity was a big word, but so was autonomy, and so was the remote control Cat command station now coming from its mining into construction. And also we saw a really good example of a quarry company here today that's actually allowed to work its quarry in a different way, because they've not got people inside the actual equipment. They've got them literally still there in the vicinity, but able to do it remotely and safer because of that particular application.
I mean, a tremendous improvement that has been made. You were here 5 years ago. I think Cat Command was kind of talked about. Now it is available and being used, you know, in the field, not only taking people off the job site and improving safety, because it's often used in hazardous situation, high benches, or, you know, cleaning out chip holes, for example, where machines are lowered down. Having that capability is a game changer, you know, for customers, not only from a safety point of view, but also from an efficiency and productivity point of view, because by a push of the button from that remote station, you can actually change the operation from one machine to the next.
Yep. So we're going from a wheel loader to an excavator. We've seen that again here today, and I think what's really exciting about that is it's only going to get better, and as more people look at the application. And we heard from the individual, the people piece again. That individual that's on that site feels safer. They've actually got more camaraderie because they all get together, and they feel more like a team. And I think that's important for everyone on the job site. But really, it starts with that element. We've talked there about safety and doing things differently. And of course, for me, I had a bit of a fatigue moment earlier today, folks. I closed my eyes, but something beeped and vibrated and told me to open it up. And I got a phone call saying, Peter, you need to take a break. And that was the detection system you've got for fatigue in the cab that's now proliferating, isn't it?
Yes. And again, you know, taking a step back from the product, where we've always been designing safety into the design of our products, right? Whether it's climbing in and out of the cab, making that, you know, as easy as possible, making sure that you have ground level service so you don't have to climb on the machine and prevent injuries. Now, applying some of the technology to that, as you said, whether it's, you know, kind of sleep detection or seat belt, you know, reminders that people are not wearing their seat belts, or the 360 Cat Detect solution, which kind of identifies, you know, people or object in the vicinity of the machine and therefore activate, an alert. That technology is made available through VisionLink, so you can actually go back. Let's say next week you can go to last week's results and say, okay, how many of those incidents were there? They were not accidents, but they were incidents. Cat detect got activated, or there was a seatbelt on. How many were there? Where were they? And what can I do to prevent them from happening in the future? So you can start looking at the clusters of where these events happened, and then probably there's an issue there, and you can start changing the layout of your work site or changing the processes. So it's all about observing what it is and then taking action to prevent it from happening again.
Absolutely, and then that data doesn't lie. That's what I love about data. It does not lie. It shows you what's going on, and it's a community then that can come together and look about it. And what was a really standout thing for me, and I know it's a little thing, but you've also thought about the operator when it comes to helping them, because operators are jumping in different machines. We talked about the shortages, we talked about new people coming through and skill sets. You've now got an operator system that allows the machine to tell them what the best movements are for them to do with the machine, haven't you?
Yeah, well, isn't that amazing? And it's like, the technology allows us something that we might not have thought about like 5 years ago. But now we can track the machine, see the machine movement. And for example, if a wheel loader loading a truck and we observe that it's kind of taking, too many wheel turns, or he can be more efficient in his loading path, we can feed that information straight back to the operator in the cab and coaching him on how to better maneuver his wheel loader when loading the truck. So it's almost mind-blowing that that capability is there. We call it operator coaching to help make inexperienced operators better and good operators great operators.
Yeah, and I think we see a lot of eco-operator training now in the UK from the big plant hirers that we've got there. This is just another little reminder that's there, and it's not somebody that's got to go and talk to someone or, oh, maybe I shouldn't feel like I can ask that question when I'm doing everything right here. It tells you for it. So that's really, really another intuitive thing to take in. But for me, that's one of the big takeaways. I think will make a massive difference with idling and safety and doing things properly. And therefore, the fuel burn, the cost per ton per litre all comes down. And that again talks about productivity again, folks. So we've got all of these things coming together. The ecosystem's building. We've seen new products here. We've seen so much excitement. It's unbelievable. The foundations are always there with Caterpillar. 100 years, remember, but we've got another 100 years ahead, and we've got to build on what we've created so far. And remember, folks, we've got to make sure it's the people that matter. And you're one of them, so cheers.
Well, thank you very much, Peter. It's been a pleasure.